This is iRacing.
We call this a brand new era in your Sunday Grand Prix series here. These Lotus 79s have not seen the like for a while, but now it's a chance of establishing a new legacy and building up for a new understanding. Two Titans tied on points and looking to prove each to each other that they are worth the very best. So where do you go when you're a gambling man? You head yourself over to the casino straight. You find yourself on the St. Lawrence River. You look at the circuit here of Gilles Villeneuve and say, this is where we split our differences. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. My name's Shakespeare. Along with me for today's action is Craig King, as Christian Deploy sits in the director's chair using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. But what to be said around a circuit that will be part of the greatest weekend in motorsport for the first time in a very, very long time. This is a fantastic track for racing that has seen it all and done it all. And if you haven't seen it or seen it in action, here's a GSRC track guide to help you out.
Welcome to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Host of the Canadian Grand Prix for over 40 years, this track's popularity among fans refuses to wane. Although it has gone through a few alterations in its history, the nature of its layout has remained pretty much the same. That nature, of course, is that its 14 turns are mostly chicanes, split up by long straights to add up to a 2.7-mile street course-like canyon of a track. These 4.3 kilometers are mainly made up of actual streets on the man-made Ile Notre Dame, though portions are specifically built for the racetrack. But whether or not fans consider it a true street course, the close barriers that line the majority of the track don't care what you think. Places like the exit of Turn 4 and Turn 9 frequently collect the greedy. But these pale in infamy to the notorious Wall of Champions. Named for its penchant to collect F1 World Champions, the corner itself is called Quebec. Regardless, it's a finicky and tight chicane with a critical corner exit, so drivers are tempted into edging the car as close as they dare to the concrete. Despite the numerous heavy braking zones, passing can be difficult at times for certain types of cars. Often, attrition or cut course penalties play a bigger part in who finishes where. While sports cars and NASCAR have both made stops here, this place is mainly known for its history with Formula One. Named after what is easily Canada's most popular driver in the International Open Wheel Series, this semi-temporary circuit looks like it's actually here to stay for a long, long time.
A street circuit which has got all of the joys of great running here in Quebec. This has been a circuit that has long been lauded as probably one of the most underrated street circuits in all the world.
Yeah, because people forget it's a street circuit, but what a track it is, even if you just forget that street circuit moniker, because you do have a couple straights you work for, but the main part of this track are four chicanes, each one different than the rest. To get there, you got to get through the virage center, which is that very sharp left-hander, into what is basically a whole 180 on yourself down to that very dangerous 3 and 4 chicane, which we all remember what happened to Sebastian Vettel. I'm talking about when he was in Ferrari, not in Red Bull, as they won't be dealing with the rain today. Do have the hard braking as well, down to the hairpin, or the pingel, as they say in French, as my French is not very good. And realistically, you're going to be seeing a very minimum chance of overtakes in this first part of the track. I feel it's all going to be down to keeping the speed up through the chicanes. Don't hit the curves, and most importantly, Jake, you got to be alert on a street circuit.
You absolutely do, and you will note and understand that today it's about holding your ground and saying, I am going to be that driver at the top of the championship who is not going to relinquish anything. Now, as far as championship goes, we've added one drop round, and Aldris Valenteus and Zach Leon Hardy are tied at the hip at 488. James Barry at 53 adrifts is Gabri Martinez. Then in 4th position, you've then got Ross Banfield and Luke Turnison, 5th and 6th, with Hans Sommer, Dylan Freckleton, Kartik Pai, and Jack David Spickett making up your top 10 in what is a close scrap for those top 10 places. But Craig, there's also the F2 championship for those under 3K.
And if we've got the drop in the F1, we've got the drop in the F2, and Diego Mastretta actually extends his lead because of that to Brett Wayland, who is just there battling with Craig Sandon and Keith Herner, very close between those 3 drivers. Miguel Morlin, Remy Villeneuve, and Barry West also tight there with Ben Summers in 8th. Alex Rass will be 9th. Michael Zabala will be in 10th. Keeping here, though, Jake, some of these drivers, only a handful, I count 2, 3 actually, in the top split today, which could help them or could hinder them when it comes to point scoring.
Yes, because it's not based on the fact of how good are you in terms of the race. It's all about how you do compared to that second race as well. If you see a strong pace in that second race compared to the first one, you're going to be down a lot of points. So keep that in mind as they go. There's also a team's championship out there to go and play for, and Jib Racing with Ben Summers and Michael Taylor are 9 clear of Fittipaldi Automotive Capersica, with Scuderia Ferrari then in 3rd and the Keep Renault Alf in 4th. TVR Racing on his own. Dylan Freckleton is fighting for this with Vorsteiner Arrows Racing Team and Northern Winter Racing then 6th and 7th. It is then Candy Team Tyrrell Ligier Gitanes, and then finally ATS Wheels, who round out your top 10 as far as it goes there. But Craig, you've seen a lot of these races. I've seen a lot of these races. If you haven't seen a lot of these races, what's the challenge today?
Challenge will be 25 laps around this sub 90-second track, and it's an open setup for round 6, which means use the iRacing baseline, a setup you've made or one provided by the fantastic community. But if you crash, your day is done. There is no spare car, and it's a street circuit, remember, so the walls are pretty close. Drive-through will be at 17 incident points, disqualification at 25. As we say on a street circuit, I think you'll be in 25 pieces before you get to 25 incidents today if you hit the wall.
Yeah, and so with that, qualifying is currently underway at an in-sim time of 10 past 8 in the morning. So good morning. Out there is the key that they will be dealing with. It is an 18-degree wind across the straight, so that it's not going to be a headwind, a tailwind, it's a crosswind. Marco Nurmela currently the quickest, and hey, look at that. The VR camera is in full view as Barry West gets himself out there at the moment. And do I spy Jimmer on the wall?
I think that's meant to be a Nigel Mansell, but Jimmy had been known to have a mustache like that. I love that wall. It's the first time we've seen the wall in a while, because Barry usually shows his monitor. It's usually over his head, so we get to almost see what he's looking at normally when we go to his camera, but he's got his VR headset on as he down the casino straight. Where does he brake hit? Just under the bridge. Later than the bridge. Don't want to hit too much at the curves. He is a former F2 champion. Not going to hit the wall of champions this time. And again, another F2 driver at the back of the field, but still got a lot of opportunity to make some points up today compared to the others. And here's the championship leader, or one of them, Zach Leon Hardy. Valenteus has not had the best of starts. Look how close it is between the top 3. Is Leon Hardy going to try and upset that apple cart of those 3? Crosses the line for 24.6. Nowhere near.
Well, has another lap to work with. So too does Aldrius on a 24.3. And track temperature here is 19 degrees Celsius. It is ice cold, so it will take a couple laps to get it up to speed as Jack David Spickett in the Pepsi machine, the only bastion here today of former champions racing, is looking to try and show that he is going to be on top. It's him from Gabri Martinez from Marco Nurmela as far as this stands, but along this casino straight into the final chicane, can he chuck it through? Very close to the curves without touching those anti-cuts heading over towards the line. How good is this of an improvement? It does break the 24s into the 23.9s. Now here comes Valenteus, who will not set a time as he crosses the line with that second attempt. Fifth at best, he can be only. Now the question lies here with this guy, Zach Leon Hardy, who knows that he is pinned even with Valenteus out there. Qualifying so critical here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. He's just got to chuck it into this final chicane. He batters the second curve, gets all over on the right-hand side, really throws it over towards the line, crosses with a 24 flat, good enough for the front row.
Yeah, key thing with Valenteus there, I was watching on board with him. I think he hit the wall of champion, the lightest to touch it, and that would invalidate the lap. Also just cutting the grass a little bit. So I would have loved to have seen what he did. What a time, though, from JDS at the top. He was 6,000 ahead of Martinez. He ended up almost 2/10 ahead of Martinez. And Leon Hardy, I think he's in the best place he can be right now, really showing the pace in the last few races. That is going to be very good for him, because the name of the game for him right now, it is to win, of course, Jake, but it's also to keep Valenteus as further away from him as possible.
Absolutely. This, the place, of course, of the rowing when the Olympics found itself in Montreal. And also, apparently, the origination of the idea of the Stig created by Alan Jones as he walked to the paddock in his helmet from a long, well, or to the grid from the paddock far, far away. But as far as this grid goes, Jack David Spickett has the pole position on a 123.9 with Zach Leon Hardy alongside for company. Gabri Martinez will start in third as Marco Nurmela will be alongside him in the 10 as James Barry and Aldrius Valenteus are fifth and sixth. Qualifying has been getting really, really good for Aaron Blair. He starts seventh. He just needs to string a race together with Andrew Petty in eighth place. Cal Young and Cole Caber then make up your top 10.
And then it's going to be the TVR driver Dylan Freckleton in 11th. Hans Sommer will take 12th. Kartik Pai with a bit of a slow time there in the unlucky 13th. Josh Brain 14th with Ilka Costasalo 15th. Mickey Friesen will take 16th. And then Ross Banfield down in 17th. Logan Edwards will be in 18th. Luke Turnerson will take 19th. F2 leader Diego Mastretta rounds out your top 20.
Yeah, the F2 leader with the reigning F2 champion alongside him. That's interesting for you. Matthew Cochran and Mike Rasmus then have row 11 with Owen Martell and Michael Taylor on row 12. For the wrestling fans, you've got Rick the Model, and then you've got the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor, there for row 12. Jean-Francois Boscos and Andreas Zanon then on row 13 as Barry West starts in 27th. Matthias Matthew Siegel 28th with Jason Kukoviak and Taylor Ballant making up the top 30, just 4 over the other page. The last 2 times set were by Tomáš Tuba, the Slovakian, and Ben Summers in 32nd, with the likes of Antonio Alvarez and Tobias Nara, the Argentine, unable to set a time. They are split then by their iRating, and it's the 2 from the South American continent that don't set a time. It is a short run to turns numbers 2 and 3 out on this track, which is the Virage Senna, or the Senna chicane. If I had a dime for every time there was a Senna chicane on a circuit, I'd have 2 dimes, which is not very much, but it's a real interesting fact that it has happened twice for chicanes. So for the moment, they look to set themselves up. 25 laps, they know how critical a good start is going to be here today at Montreal, and in the cold, they get themselves underway. Gabri Martinez got a great launch. Jack David Spickett with a bucket of wheel spin is going to find how tough it is to fight to the opening corners, and already they're sliding about, and Spickett's off the road, and Martinez is off the road, and Valenteus is up now into third, and another car there off the right as one of the wheels goes flying back across the circuit as they work to 3 and 4.
I think that might be Kartik Pai. He's going down again, and now Aaron Blair's having issues. These cold tires are really affecting drivers. More drivers going off there. Cold track, cold tires, everybody else as well. It was actually Turnerson, by the way. He's had to take a tow. That was the incident. Kartik Pai as well as they come on by. This is quite interesting because 3 drivers I counted at least, Jake. It might have been 2. Slowdowns on the first lap. Last thing you want is a slowdown on lap 1.
Worst time to get it because you get no reference marker. If you have a reference marker on a slowdown, which is lap 2, lap 3, you know how tough it's going to be. I'd argue lap 2 is the second hardest to do because your reference marker is a lot slower. Now we've got moves going on into Lapangle and a tangle at Lapangle then between Marco Nurmela, who spins and slides halfway and is going to drop back there. Gabri Martinez was there on the inside and really trying to chuck himself in the mixture there. A little bit too deep for his liking, and Nurmela just unable to get the car settled, and now look at it, 2 and 3 wide.
Yeah, Nurmela's got wing damage, I think, as well, when Martinez went for that move into the hairpin. Also got some side pod damage, and he's going to try and see what he can do. That car's got no grip, and he's just completely caused a big wreck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars.
Track's jammed. That's a huge accident there to deal with at the Wall of Champions. And in 1999, it was 5 champions in at separate times. There you had 7 drivers in at the same time. Nurmela over-committing into the corner, over the top, and nowhere for Cockerham and Brain and Mickey Friesen. And Owen Martell was last one into the party.
Well, as we just get ourselves confirmed, let's have a quick look at a replay of the start here. Here's Diego Mastretta, locking up the brakes into the first chicane. And that's what we saw with some of the drivers. Gets it back going. Yep, gets it all going, so everything's good. These guys trying to now catch up after that moment there with Martinez. And I haven't looked yet. I think Martinez, he does have some wing damage. That's going to affect him. And of course, it's the wing where he hit that moment there with Nurmela. Cars in the pits right now. Nara, Brain, Nurmela, Friesen. We knew Turner was in the pits and Kartik Pai in the pit. I think Antonio Alvarez has also left on a separate moment out there. So we've lost 6 drivers at least from the start of this race.
1 lap in, Michael Taylor up 11. Mike Rasmus is up 8. It's up 9 for Boschkus and Zanon, and Siegel's up 10, and West is up 8. Ballant up 9 spots off the get-go. It's a great day to have made up moves out there to begin with. Andrew Petty will be looking to line up a chance to get by Gabri Martinez. He's got the legs at the moment. That turn-up of the front left wing plate there is going to be certainly causing a lot of trouble, so keep an eye out on it as the race goes on, and they're going to set up on the Martinez Express out there as they go through. Let's take another look though here. GSRC replay of this on the opening lap. So you can see it's a case of just trying to dive in, not being able to hold it on the brakes. Nurmela was trying to avoid it. That's 2 separate incidents. You've got 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom, and then it just continues on as drivers try to work themselves around, and poor rejoins back onto circuit, causing an absolute calamity of chaos there at the Wall of Champions.
And you remember Nurmela had that wing damage as well, so he would not have had the downforce either. But when you're going that fast, Petty with a slowdown as well, so he did not have that speed. And this is not the best place for Petty to have a slowdown, because yes, he gets back into the run and he might be able to get a overtake onto Dylan Freckleton if he serves his slowdown in time. And I can tell you, he has not, and that's why it's a bad time, because if you can't slow it down before the hairpin, well, you're going to have to keep serving it down the casino straight, and that's an important straight there. He's lost 2 seconds to Gabri Martinez. There's Martinez at the front here. Here's a little bit of a battle. Cal Young will let by, and Hans Sommer almost into the rear of Petty. Just catches it at the last minute.
Well, Andrew is the sort of driver who is not too afraid to stream his race, and for everybody to understand what he's doing out there on Twitch. And he will know that he'll have a lot of fan support trying to help him out through this, with Cal Young, with Dylan Freckleton all going through and all picking up what they need to. 2 clear at the front, then 2 chasing behind. We'll get another replay here just before we touch on that point that Leon Hardy and Spickett are a group of 2, and Valenteus and Barry are a group of 2. This is Mickey Friesen's view of it then into the final chicane here. So you can see he's going to see a bit of smoke in front, and then look, everyone's in, everyone's in. Oh, where do you go there? And pretty much getting joined by Owen Martell.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to not follow the same line everybody else was, thinking, oh, he can't see the incident. He's thinking, I've got a good run here. He didn't have a good run because everyone was slowing down to avoid the accident. A little bit unfortunate there. Someone's going to have that. Someone had to draw the short straw. Unfortunately, it was Mickey Friesen, a driver who's not been drawing the short straw. He dropped the short straw on a start. Jack Davis Pickett with a rare bad start here. Everyone really gets good starts in these cars. He hasn't. And now he's having to really push Leon Hardy. And I'll tell you what, Jake, last time he was in this position, well, he was happy with it because at the end of the race, he started pushing and he started to take the lead and extend. So this is fine for Jack right now. And look at the time gap between them and Valenteus. They're starting to pull ahead from the gold standard, who, hate to say it, might be the bronze standard today.
Well, he is there, but right now he will know that this is going to be a very tough run out there to keep himself up. The fact that he's got himself up to third in the first place here has certainly helped. And look at the margins there. The scrape there of sparks off the wall from Zach Leon Hardy as the tyre there, the rim just scrapes across it. There's a lot to worry about here every time you go about. And again, you can see it sparks coming off the under tray. Then as the ground effect comes into full effect, it means that you get a lot of grip in the high-speed corners around this circuit. Not so much, because this is more of a lower speed corner entry that you get most places.
Which means you're going to have to depend on the mechanical grip you get with these massive old school tyres, as Jack Davis Pickett going a little bit wider, and I think that helped him because look at Zach having a little bit of a slide here. Now, I want to look as we come to the chicane here at the end of the track. I want to see the lines they take here, Jake. I have heard some drivers taking different lines here. May have to take different lines as they go to attack. Zach backs out of it. That's a smart lift, actually. I feel that smart. Look at how Jack attacks it. Look how Zach attacks it. And into the wall he almost goes. Keeps on and going, though. What damage has he got? He gets away with it.
Wow, that could have been the race for Zach Leon Hardy, and he doesn't want to start eating into drop rounds this early on in the season. Remember, he missed the third round of the championship over at Imola, so he knows that he's on the back foot and he has got to be responding. There have only been 3 winners this season. It's 2 for Aldris Valenteus, 2 for Zach Leon Hardy, and 1 for Jack Davis Pickett, who leaves. Another look at it. Leon Hardy, bounces over, and it's the rear tyre, the chunkier of the 2, that gets a nibble out of the wall. And so Zach has to be very, very careful here that he hasn't been caught up in something and the car is going to behave as intended. It looks okay. Maybe a slight 2% left hand down.
Yeah, but in this sort of car, 2% could be killer. We'll have to see what the times are like this time. He's lost a lot of time to Jack Davis Pickett. Valenteus is now starting to catch him as well. We're almost in a 4-car long train at the moment. And speaking of 4-car trains, Cal Young right now he's trying to catch up to Dylan Frackleton. Andrew Petty right behind them can't catch up, and Cal's got a really good run here. Got to look to see if he can do last of the late breakers here for the chicane. He probably won't even need it. Frackleton decides it's not worth it. Can he slow it down in time? Slows it down to the point he even avoids the tyre barrier. Real good overtake there from Cal.
Yeah, Cal's making $1 million moves by the looks of it, past all of his competitors. He's now into 7th from 9th, a gain of 2, as Andrew Petty here just 70 kilometers an hour. Now look to try and get on the power with Hans Sommer, who is there just behind the German who holds that top 10 place. So they're trying to work themselves through the chicane, as they know, stay with the cars in front, you're going to have a good time. If you don't manage that, going to be a tough time out there as you work on your own. So that's going to be critical here in top right. Andrew Petty, oh my goodness, how much more curb do you need here as he also glances at the wall of champions?
Yeah, I see a lot of drivers really being aggressive on that chicane today, and it's that first anti-cut curb that they're really trying to run. They're trying to be Tony Hawk right here, or I'm not really sure who the closest Canadian skateboarder would be, but yet the idea they're really trying to grind that as much as they can. I don't think they'll be having a barge board after this, because someone check with Ferrari that they've got legal tendencies here. But Valenteus still trying to catch up 2/10 faster than Leon Hardy last time by. Let's see how he takes the chicane. He takes it differently, because look how he doesn't attack that first curve and ride for second. And I want to look at the times here, because we think Leon Hardy had minuscule damage. The lap time till they cross the line, 25-1 aboard for everybody. I think Leon Hardy is just now starting to get that rhythm again.
Well, I'd say he's got a perfect rhythm here to Jack David Spickett. He matched the 1,000th of a second. So if he's going to be skating on a line like Pierre-Luc Gagnon, an X Games legend, then he's going to be someone who I think is going to be sitting up and saying, look, I know what I want and I want to challenge. And back to that point, your top three right now, if it stays like this, would each have 2 wins apiece this season.
I'd have to go and look back at the stats, and that would take me a day and a half to do. I can't remember the last time we've had 2 winners, or 3 different winners twice in the first 6 races of the season. It's been a while. We've not had a championship this close with multiple drivers before, because usually it's 2 cars up ahead battling. So if Jack David Spickett can really put a claim to this, what a season we've got here for the second half of the season. But Leon Hardy's had some mistakes around this lap, and now he's in the grasp of Valenteus. And Valenteus, did he catch his Leon Hardy and start to pull ahead? Can he catch up to Jack David Spickett? That's the thing. He's up +3 already here. Not the hardest charger. And again, look at the slide from Zach. Ever since he hit that wall, Jake, he's been a little bit passive through that final chicane.
It was snappy there, and very much a case of I'm going to get the turn in massive and try and get that run through. Street circuit suit a certain style of driver, and I don't doubt the pace as Aaron Blair now goes down behind Cal Young. So another change of position then, and that is all slow down penalty for Aaron Blair, all on his merry lonesome. So say goodbye to that one. That's Cal Young up into P6. So I would turn and look at this one here, Craig, and say some drivers suit a street circuit. I think Zach's talent is going to be out there on circuits that are maybe a little bit more expansive, that are a little bit more to his taste. The reason why you look around and say he can do well, but if you turn the flip side, he did win at Adelaide and Road Atlanta, so maybe it's just a Montreal thing that doesn't really sit well, as Valenteus to the inside at Lepangle, trying to get the angle and doesn't quite get it yet.
I think he was doing the Hamilton bait there, as I like to call it, but Leon Hardy is losing time. And remember last week at Road Atlanta, Zach just had to keep it clean, and then mistakes started building up. And if we use the Le Mans principle here, Jake, with these slowdowns, once you get a slowdown at Le Mans, you start getting more slowdown because you start to overdrive the car and you get more slowdown, and then you make more. I think this is what's happening to Zach right now. He's made the mistake. Now he's making another mistake. He's making another mistake. He needs to calm himself down. Just accept that Jack's going to do his own thing at the front. Zach needs to do his own thing right behind, because behind him right now is a charging Valenteus. This could be the championship.
Well, this is the championship lead battle. I don't think this is going to be one that decides where the season is going to be, as he defends the line, middle of the road, then into turn 6 and 7 out there on track, and so gets the run off of the exit. This is where you're going to have to be saying here that Zach Leon Hardy, I think, has got gearing that's slightly different. Valenteus gets to the inside. They leave enough racing room. Pinched on the inside. Aldris is just going to sweep around the outside, will now command towards Lepangle. The left is going to help out at the moment, but on the brakes, long way around, they both jam it and try and turn it on a dime, and ultimately it's Aldris who's got legs.
Yeah, but I think Zach's got the speed here. Look at it. And this might be a thing. They might have different wings, or it might meet different wing settings, or it might just be the case that this is just a better run here from Leon Hardy. He can't fight this with Valenteus. They almost touch wheels. He's going to have to serve the slowdown. Right behind him is James Barry. Look at him right in the left right here. There he goes. Leon Hardy, he's going to have to concede defeat here, and he's going to be losing a lot of time.
It's time that's the important thing. How much time is he going to lose? Gabri Martinez currently in 5th, and here's Andrew Petty chucking one towards the inside, and this big group right now heading towards halfway in this race with Freckleton, Blair and Young. I think that's going to be a really interesting party out there, and I think the party's also going to be interesting here to see whether Zach Leon Hardy maybe runs himself then into troubles with the charge of Gabri Martinez, for example, who could be trying to get into it in 4th place. So really tough moment. Won't mind JDS, all that battling. He's now 4 seconds clear as Petty is over to the right-hand side of the track, and that's going to cost him another slowdown.
And that means another position loss. He's now -2 for the day. I mean, same as Leon Hardy there at the top, who's -2 for the day. Aaron Blair, well, it's been an interesting race for him. Up and down, and then up again. But he's been able to now make some moves onto Cal Young. Petty's trying to make some moves as well. Very tough to make a move into this corner. We saw what happened with Gabriel Martinez earlier, and that's the key thing. Jay, you talked about Martinez charging onto Leon Hardy. Well, yeah, he'll be charging, but remember, Gabriel's got that broken front wing. That's going to be affecting him. Andrew Petty's going to be looking for a move. This could be at the Super Formula stages. They didn't race today, but Petty's going to try and do this. What a move! Beautiful move.
Hans Sommer, though, I will have to say this, did everything right to get out of the way of that one, because if he'd committed and stayed further on in for it, there would have been a massive accident, and that is going to allow Ross Banfield here to sweep on by straight through the centre chicane and gets himself the pass. Petty is on the radio to Hans saying, look, I'm sorry if there was any contact between us there, but that was a very risky move.
Risky move, and I wonder if that was what he wanted to do, because you saw him really attacking there and very late. You wouldn't usually see him move that late, breaking in with the slipstream down that casino straight to the final chicane. I do wonder if that was just a little bit ambitious from Petty, but he was able to slow that car down. Give him the credit, give both of them the credit. They had to fight that respective and fair, and they managed to keep themselves out of the wall and out of each other's ways, but at least there's a little bit of respect there by the drivers saying apologies and sorry if anything happened. And that's what you want to see. That's why this is the best series on the sim right now, because look at the respect they're showing.
Well, it's all respect out there, and everyone knows that this is all about showing each other that we want to finish these races, we want a fair fight, and we want the points to show it, not by the amount of DNF that you have at the end of the board. Big jump over the curve then from Aaron Blair as he looks to chase back down on Cal Young with the old GSRC logo. That's 110 that you gain of an advantage out there, not 2 if you go and get the new logo painted up upon the car. Charging about then off of the exit, slight rise up the hill, highest point of the circuit here, heading to turn 3 and 4, because you drop back down the hill again through the right and left. It's a subtle elevation change that catches many out.
And I think you just named it there, because it catches drivers out. They don't expect what the speed they carry into that corner, and we saw that at the start of the race. A lot of drivers going a little bit wide. I know they had to avoid an incident, but you get to the top, it's almost like a mini roller coaster there. You get that little flap, and then you just get on the throttle. And also with these cars, you got to be careful not to get too hot on the throttle when you're over a crest like that, and that's another little kink in this car that you have to learn. Very good exit from Cal Young, definitely looking the better in terms of comfortable driving right now. But you've got to give your hats off to Aaron Blair, number 21 car. Remember, 34 drivers, your number is your iRating. So this man is the bottom quarter of the field in terms of iRating, not showing it right now.
No, and we've seen this over a number of races that Aaron Blair does have the pace to go out there. The issue he runs into is consistency, getting a race done and sorted, as Jack Davis Pickett puts a 24.8 down on the board and says, look, I'm fastest lap out there, and I will continue to keep setting it with Algiers Valenteus at 4.3 adrift as things currently stand, and actually worrying a bit, I would argue too, about James Barry there in 3rd position, because James wants to throw his name into the hat and say, don't forget about me. If I get a couple seasons in this car, I can prove that I'm lightning fast, and it's going to be a long night actually of racing for James Barry, because he'll be going in the European Championships for the Radicals later on tonight.
Yeah, he's a well-known Radical driver. And the idea that you could do it, Diego Estrada, what an overtake there as well. That's a really nice move to get that over Mateus Matthew Siegel there. Really good. Yeah, James Barry, really good. And to be able to do that, we'll see this replay, to be able to do that, Jay, oh, he hit the barrier, that's why. Yeah, for James Barry to do that in a modern-day Radical and then transfer to this sort of car, that's different to the likes of what Petty does, going from Formula cars into this, or the likes of Valenteus and Jack Davis Pickett and Cal Young going from vintage GTOs into this. Lots of different skill sets that somehow transfer into this beast of an engine.
And this is why it's one of the most adaptable engines in the world. It's one of the engines that lasted the longest in Formula racing, the Ford DFE Cosworth, as Cal Young gets very shaky through the corners. Aaron Blair was aggressive, attacking, looking for any way to go and get that move done, and just couldn't quite manage to muster it, and again closes right up underneath there, almost kissing the spoiler in through the corner, and all you've got separating you is your ability to clutch that Momo steering wheel and how much you dare to put right foot down flat to the floor.
He enters the center chicane 10 kilometers an hour faster than Cal Young. He's got more confidence through that corner, but is he going in too hot and overheating the tires, meaning he doesn't have the grip because he gets that speed, but then where can he transfer it? Because he can't make that move now. So if I'm Blair, I'm starting to think about backing out that corner a little bit and use that advantage that you're getting with the speed because you've got the confidence. Try and use it to get to the first chicane and try and make a move there. Because look at the train that might be coming shortly. Dylan Freckleton, Andrew Petty, just 2 seconds behind them. And there they are. You got to also factor in Ross Banfield. If it stays like this, I don't know if Cal can hold everybody off when I'm looking at the timing tower.
Well, the other thing I note as well, if you keep braking that close, that heavily, if you're Aaron Blair, you burn your tyres more.
Yeah, well, they don't have to worry too much about tyre wear in this series for a quick race like this. It is more about the heat in these tyres, and the moment these tyres get overheated, well, you lose grip. I know it's a cold track right now. By the way, Dylan Freckleton with a slowdown right behind in the grass of Andrew Petty. As there he goes. Yeah, if you overheat these tyres too much, Jake, I know what you mean about tyre wear. Tyre wear means nothing in this series. It's all about keeping the temperatures up in these tyres.
Dylan Freckleton having to abandon on the exit of turn 1, sees Andrew Petty jump through. Ross Banfield also going by, but you also note that it's not necessarily a traditional wear out there. The heat, that hyperheating, is a heat wear essentially that you've got, and it can take upwards of 2 laps to call it, and again more having to be served up by Dylan Freckleton. Finally lets them all go, and they'll also be nervous about how much they are cutting up on these chicanes as Jack David Spickett hits lap traffic for the first time, because this is surprisingly a very big incident point circuit, as well as Aaron Blair again remains close, steadfast, but Cal Young confident on where his mark is on the brakes. You can't beat me if I hit the same mark 10 out of 10.
No, and then also, did you notice that Blair was using more of that extra runoff on the exit of the hairpin there? One that was really nice to see. But Cal shortened up the exit there to get on the throttle a little bit more straight line. They always come together! No! And that was a mistake there. I think Cal put his car a little bit to the middle, and Blair just was not ready for it.
Well, Cal's gone across and defended it. Aaron Blair's come back over to the left and has pivoted over, and Blair's committed to his brake mark and basically gone over the back of the wheel there. I know how Ralf Schumacher felt about that in 2002, but right now that sees Aaron Blair out of the race. It will see dropping down the order Cal Young as he takes a pit stop for the damage to his tyre, and both of them will turn around and look at it and go, that is an awful run of racing for us, and we will be looking at that saying, what have we done? We've both thrown away a guaranteed top 10.
Yeah, all they had to do is just keep on racing, and I feel you can say someone needs to back out of that, but at the same time, they also need to give themselves the space. So that's going to be one they'll debate about themselves. They'll probably have some words in the garage, the virtual garage. We'll have a look at what happened there as well. Because look at this, Cal, as you said, he gets that move. He does a small correction. I would not say that's a reactionary move, Jake, in terms as what iRacing say for blocking, but we're not stewards, of course. I wouldn't say that was a reactionary move. That was him trying to utilize the space to make sure there was no chance for an over-under overtake. Well,
so that over-under, I think, makes a huge understanding of where drivers run into troubles, like Algiers right now needs Ben Summers out of the way. It's brought James Barry right up underneath, and James here with a really big chance to say, look, I'm getting podiums and I'm getting stronger podiums. If he can put one over Algiers, I think he sits back and says, in terms of his championship position, I'm third on my consistency level. I want to be even better than third position this season. I'm better than third. I'm the biggest challenger. I can be up there going for this title.
What a surprise it would be if Barry just throws his hat into the mix. We talk about Jack throwing his hat into this mix once again, but for Barry to throw it in at this stage of the season, 4 drivers fighting, This is what you want to see. This could be just fantastic. But to get there, he has to beat the gold standard. We know what Valenteis is, and this isn't his strongest suit. He's better in the 49, he's better in Audi GTO, and I'd even argue, despite he's not driven it for a season, he's probably better than a Nissan GTP over this Lotus 49. But in the last couple seasons, he started to learn this car a little bit more. Really started to find pace. He makes his own sets as well, so he's also just developing on that. And I'm really intrigued to see the pace he's now starting to show. But he's getting hounded right now by James Barry as Jack David Spickett goes purple. He's looking for the full 428 points today, or 26 points out there with another fastest lap.
Well, he knows he needs them, and he will need everything he can get. He's used an extra drop compared to his competitors, and that's why he's a bit further down in the championship, but they'll add more drops as the season goes. So Valenteis in second will be monitoring Jack David Spickett, not letting him run too far into the distance. Yes, it's 5 seconds with 7 laps to go. Yes, it's probably going to mean that victory isn't on the cards, but it will mean for Valenteis and for James Barry that second and third is what they are targeting. It's what they know is going to be a difference maker for them as they set up today. So I think Jack's done a wonderful job, and this is the Jack that we've been waiting for since his title-winning year.
This is the Jack that everyone had started to see. And interestingly, I'm just going to make the joke, he was always classified as an honorary Finn. His nationality in iRacing was Finnish, from Finland, sorry. He's gone back to Great Britain. I'm not saying, Jake, it's a sign, but Jack David Spickett is now faster. Now he's showing the flags of His Majesty in the red, white, and blue. James Barry as well, representing Great Britain, really starting to attack. But there he is. He's got the red, white, and blue on his car. He's representing the red, white, and blue in terms of country.
Yeah, and that red, white, and blue is doing a brilliant job of saying, I am ahead of everybody else. And he is just trying to master the traffic now with Josh Brain and Jason Kukoviak's battle then just in front. This for 22nd position at this moment in time. But worth noting here, Josh Brain effectively 6 laps down, not for place. So Kukoviak trying to stay with Thomas Tuber, who's plus 10.
But usually the drivers have a little bit of respect. They'll pull over when they can, and there's not a lot of places for him to make a move right now. And again, blue flags are just advisory on iRacing. The community do like to just say, if you can pull over when you've got the best opportunity, please do. Petty, how many times have we had a slowdown here for Andrew Petty, Jacob? If I was doing a drinking game, and I'm talking drinking from my soft drink, I think I'd need the toilet by now.
Either that, or in terms of your soft drink, you might need to clean your teeth, because Andrew Petty is having a rotten time with the chicanes at this point, and I think this is going to be hurting him, because you think every slowdown is roughly about 1 to 2 seconds that you knock out of this race. He's had at least 3 that we've seen out there, Craig. That's 6 seconds. 6 seconds right now puts him a lot closer to Gabriel Martinez than he is at this moment.
Sorry, I just got to interrupt. Liam Hardy's hit the wall of champions. He's hit the wall of champions, and he's just gone too hard there. I think he's all right. I don't think he's got much damage, but he's lost that position to Gabriel Martinez. He's already used a drop round here, Jake, and with a 5th place, with how competitive this season is, he might have to use it again. And let's look at the GSRC replay of these battles on. Look how much he hits it. There's hitting it, and then there's hitting it.
Oh, well, that's a big old smash. He's had 3 nibbles out of it there, and that is indicative of a bite. And if I look at that here, Craig, there are small glances against it where you go, okay, you've glanced it. If you still finish after having a hit like that, I'm making the prediction right now, Zach Leon Hardy will be champion at the end of this season.
Well, let's not get that fast. Let's not make predictions right now, but you've got to feel the last season he came to life, and he's really started to show his pedigree. And you're right, there are tracks he's not strong at, and I wonder if this is due to the fact of, I'm going to say it, Jake, not a very used track on the sim, and I wonder if that's one of the factors here. He's been showing straight on bigger tracks, Road Atlanta, Adelaide, everyone's using it right now. This is not a well-used track. Remember the last time we were here? A lot of incidents happening out of the leaders, and he's putting his name into those books as well. I just wonder if this is the case of the schedule doesn't work.
Here comes James, outside outside looking. They had to deal with the traffic there, and it's deep from Valente as they were getting by Jason Krakowiak then, and basically picked him through the final chicane there, because Valente has had to check it up. The chance goes begging, but James Barry, he does want second. He's forcing the gold standard to dig into the reserves.
And Valente doesn't usually get put under pressure. If you watched the Lotus 49s last week, he made his own pressure, outbraking himself for turn 1 at Road America. Not saying he'll do that in these cars, but the moment he knows he's in a battle, well, he can give the fight, he can be respectable, but if you're going to be put under that much pressure, I do wonder what it's going to do to the man. He has been shown to crack more in this Lotus 79 than any other car, and if Barry gets to run like that again, with no traffic, well, all eyes on the center chicane this time because he's close enough to do it. Thomas Tuber, the car in front, won't be very good. And I think there's been another moment for Leon Hardy. Oh, now he's hit the rear of the car. Bumps up from the first chicane.
Oh, he's pushing. He is pushing like a driver possessed at this moment, and he understands that so well. Valente is bundling over the chicanes, trying to break away from James Barry. 3 laps to go now here from the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve, and traffic there of Thomas Tuber stays well clear of these two, going at it for which step of the podium they want to be. The number 1 Valente is a former 9000 iRacing driver against James Barry, who's on the up and up and knows how to race and knows how to battle with the best of them. And James, I think, is just stalking, waiting for the right chance to strike, and ultimately I think he needs a run that says he's close enough, and he's building towards it.
Yeah, I think he's just making sure he's got the tires under the optimal temperature, so he's got that grip, just making sure that he's there. I think he realizes now that the move will happen on the start line or the casino straight, so he's got to match Valente. As I say that, he's lost a temp going through that chicane through there before at 6 and 7 there. Sorry, 8 and 9, sorry, as they come to the hairpin. Different line again, goes wider and tightens in, but the car slides out there. That's not going to help him. He may get a better run straight away, but that grip was nowhere to be found. He's going to have to see if he gets a good run out the chicane.
Taylor Ballant drops from the race. A real shame to see him done and dusted, but no move offered into the chicane. But this time, it's a case of who attacks the first compared to the second. He plays the margin fine with the anti-cut on the inside line, but 2 laps to go now. Aldrius just sits there and says, look, either you're going to offer me a move or not, and if you don't offer me a move, I'm going to walk back in second position. I think that's going to be something where James Barry notes this and goes, I can't really do much more. I'm throwing everything I've got at it, and I can't even sniff it.
Here's the thing. Valente is just known to play games on straights when it comes to battling on the last lap. I know it's not for the win, but if he knows he's this close to Barry, will he drop back? And the thing is, James, with his pedigree, he knows when someone's going to play those sorts of games. So he's going to stop Valente doing that. I don't know how you can do it in a Lotus 79. If he was in any other car, he'd be almost bump drafting the driver. Look at the scarf. They both brushed it there. I feel Barry is going to have to see if Valente plays games here.
I look at James Barry down at the Pangle, and I think if he's looking at 1 lap to go, I'd chuck one down the inside there because he looks better on the brakes. I would just throw a Hail Mary shot and ask Aldrius if you want to turn in or if you want to look around, trying to siphon off some slipstream for Matthew Cockram as they go into the final chicane here for the penultimate time. And Aldrius, slow off the exit, doesn't get a run. Here comes James Barry to the inside then. This is the move on the final lap for second. Looking for it, Aldrius pitting it around the outside. Can he command the apex here? James got to be early to the power, but it's such a long turn 3 that he can't quite get there. 4 and 5 soon to come along on the horizon, and James Barry knew that was a chance out there, but just that, a chance. He'll need to find another way to go and get this move done. Now to 6 and 7, the left and the right, and now working for it, Mike Rasmus, also in a scrap just outside the top 10. That gets close out there in battle as he deals then with Ilka Cotasalo and Sommer just in front of him. Over to the third chicane. This has been where Aldrius has set himself up, and look at that gap He is pulling it away to 0.4 of a second. He's saying to James Barry, he can't get close, but neither of them can even hold a candle in the wind. Up against JDS, it's Jack David Spickett, who is driving masterfully here, and he's already happy with this result, wiggling and celebrating. You got one chicane yet, buddy, and Jack, the lad, will swing his way up. It's 3 different drivers with 2 wins this season. Jack David Spickett with his second says, I'm in title contention. Beat that, Aldrius.
Well, Andreas does beat Barry. Barry had a mistake. He could not get that smooth line like he did last time through the chicane. And that was all she wrote. Still one last battle that could be happening here. Can Banfield hold off from Andrew Petty? He does indeed. Martinez gets the 4th. Leon Hardy, that's a day to forget in the office for Zach. He falls into 5th. Ross Banfield, hat off, my man. Up 11 places into 6th place. Barry West will come across the line there. They're almost beating Jean-Francois Bosca for 16th, but he's had a good day up in 10th.
Oh, Barry in a big battle late as well. He'll go side by side with Jean-Francois Boscas, one of the veterans out there, and he's not getting enough of a run that he needs. He'll have to tuck back into line here with Matthias Matthew Siegel, then just behind, who is the last car on the lead lap. Who's going to throw what? How deep are you going to be on the brakes? That's too deep on the brakes, and that's going to have to be a slowdown late, or if not, 40 seconds worth the penalty for Jean-Francois. Barry gets by with Matthias Matthew Siegel then, and Jean-Francois Boscas doesn't serve the penalty in time. He gets added on an extra 35 seconds, and we'll get confirmation of result then on your screen here from this beautiful circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Jack David Spickett announces his title contention present out there as he gets it done. 35 minutes, 32 seconds. His margin of victory, 6.5 over Aldrius Valenterius, with James Barry, the last driver on the podium, who gave Aldrius a big old scrap between them. It's going to be a case of Gabri Martinez in 4th and Zach Leon Hardy then down to 5th, with Ross Banfield 6th and Andrew Petty 7th. Dylan Freckleton, Hans Sommer and Ilka Cotasalo make 10. Jack David Spickett saying Montreal remains his playground.
Well, I don't think Mike Rasmus will say the same, but he goes up 11 places to 11th and up 12 to 12th for Michael Taylor. Diego Mastretta, that's a good result there, but we'll have to look at the second split when it comes to points for him. He'll finish 13th. Logan Edwards 14th. And Andrea Zanon will go up 11th to 15th, and Barry West at the end there, just pipping Matthias Matthew Siegel and Jean-Francois Boscas to 16th, 17th, and 18th, respectively. And then Matthew Cockerham will be 19th, a lap down. Thomas Huber a lap down in 20th. Jake, all the retirees are on the next page.
They're a lap down or further. So Jason Kukoviak, Ben Summers, and Cal Young all were finishers, but Taylor Ballant was not. A disconnect late on. Mickey Friesen would finish but 4 laps down, and Josh Brain would be 7. Aaron Blair had his big jump over the top then, and that puts him down to 27th, with Owen Martell, Cole Caber, and Marco Nurmala causing a huge accident down at the Waller Champion chicane. Tobias Nara and Kartik Pai in trouble. So too was Luke Turnison, and a drop for Antonio Alvarez means nothing doing as far as that all set itself out. We're going to take this chance, though, to chat with some of our drivers. 3rd place belongs to James Barry, who's with me right now. And James, really a case for you, and especially in the second half of that race, of staring at the back of Valenterius, having one chance to make that move with the lap traffic, and it just didn't quite pull off for you.
Hi guys, hi Jake. Well, it was 2 chances then. If you saw, I was, I think at the beginning of the white flag lap as well, I was side by side with him. I tried the opposite side on that occasion because on the first time with the lap traffic, it didn't work around the outside of turn 1. So I thought I'd try the inside, but then just obviously stuck the inside for turn 2 and managed to keep ahead. But just a real pleasure to be able to give a guy like that a really good run for his money. Unfortunately, not for the win. Obviously, hats off to Jack for just pulling an amazing gap on all of us, showing us how it's done this week. So yeah, hats off to him, and it was just a really fun race.
We have to talk about the big C word for you, and it's consistency, because you got 111 points at VIR, 111 at Imola, 113 at Interlagos, 100 at Road Atlanta. You are the Mr. Consistency this season. It's giving you a platform to go and challenge these drivers for the championship while they nickel and dime each other with results that don't quite go their way. Do you think that's going to pay off if you can find a few results over the next few rounds when you're looking at Thruxton and Spa, for example?
Yeah, I think I need to find a bit more. Like, really, I want to be winning at some point, but it's just so tough with this level of competition at the moment. So I'll see what I can do. I mean, I think I'm a very consistent driver, but I struggle to find that extra couple of tenths to really challenge the super talented guys here. So let's see. But I mean, honestly, so far this season, it's been Zach and Audrus in particular, and now Jack as well, to be honest, just showing some amazing levels, and it's just really amazing to watch them do what they do every week.
And in terms of you looking to find those levels, I know it's going to be a little difficult prioritising the practice, because I know you've got the Radicals European Championship coming up later on tonight. So as far as it sets for you, prioritising that practice, how do you look to structure your race week?
Yeah, I do what I can. I don't do loads of hours. I don't have too much. I mean, yeah, I do the Radical as well, so I can't do loads of time, but I try to make my own setups. I've been working hard to make my own setups every week, because I'm up against, quite a renowned, let's say, setup. I don't know, Empire that's kind of occurring in the series at the moment. So I'm trying to do my best to just give myself a chance against that and find what I can every week in the setup. It's really fun. Putting in the work on that, I really enjoy that process at the moment. So just really trying to be efficient with the time that I have.
That efficiency will soon pay off. James Barry, third position, and a well-deserved run. And a well-deserved run from Barry West, who stood by with Craig King.
Makes up 11 places, and also that one place right at the end, Barry West. Yeah, look at you. You look exhausted, but you look like you had a lot of fun out there today.
That was incredible, yeah. I knew I was quicker than Jean-Francois at the end, and he was defending well. And I thought the only way I'm going to get him is to force a mistake somewhere. And he did. I think the lap before, I got him at the hairpin, to be honest. And I missed third gear coming out the hairpin. So that's why I was past him. And then he pulled back away again. But then when we got the hairpin, he took a shortcut, and I think he got put back.
Yeah, he took a shortcut at the end there, didn't he? And I've got to be honest, Barry, I thought for a moment you're going to run into the back of him.
Yeah. We have a bit of a history, the two of us. He seems to run into me more than I run into him, I believe. But yeah, it's all good fun.
I was going to say, when you think you're probably two of the longest continuous drivers out here in the series, and you've seen the youth come and go by, and you're still here, both of you. And even though it's not at the front, how fun is it to just work your way up? Because I know a lot of drivers did get caught out in incidents today, but it's got to be fun just to see that number go up when you're in terms of positions.
Yeah, well, it's just glad to get back up there again now. I mean, this funny thing, iRacing, and that the quick boys seem to go up and up and up, and the mid pack seem to go up and down. First division, second division, and then into the centre field. I used to be a regular, and now there's so many good people coming in. So you really got to fight a lot harder. And every race you seem to have to fight harder and harder again, but it's good fun. I'm going to go and have a good lie down and a nice drop of rum, I think.
Well, I might join you, not with the lie down. I might join you with a drink afterwards. Drink responsibly. F2 Championships looking strong for you now, actually, with a result like this. But we head to Thruxton. That's a wild card when it comes to it, because we've only been here a couple times. You know it yourself. We know Thruxton from the real world racing. Your thoughts on that? What I think is the fantastic track on iRacing.
I think it is. I love it, and we had a really good setup last time, and just a few incidents. I didn't get a decent result, but. I'm definitely on for a good result this time, I'm sure. Yeah. And that confidence from that race is going to help. Yeah.
Well, Barry, I hope we get to see you again in that top split next week. I hope you have a really good time, but I'm going to let you go and have your lie down right now. Thank you for coming back in. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Cheers, then.
Barry West there finishing up there, Jake. And I think we can say as well that the picture on the wall is him back in his youth.
Yeah, definitely looks like it there. Very much. Same moustache and all out there as they all said. What a wonderful show we've had here from the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. But in 7 days' time, the second half of the season begins, and it begins in earnest in Hampshire in England, because Thruxton becomes the next round out there. 4:30 UTC, 12:30 Eastern. It's a May battle out there on May the 3rd. You definitely want to jump on in and see some amazing racing with us here in the Sunday Grand Prix Series as part of a Genesis Extreme production on the Global Sim Racing Channel. In terms of what you've got next on the show board for it, Skip Barbers will be back on Thursday. They'll be hitting over to Summit Point, a circuit a tale as old as time as a combination of car and track. For the Grand Prix Tour, they will have their Miami Vices all shown. The first ever time the Grand Prix Tour has gone to Miami, and can Eduardo Radiz continue his streak of 3 straight wins and 5 checkered flags seen first out of 5. You've then got Alton Park there for the Grand Prix Legends as they will go on Saturday, and it is a Super Saturday because IMSA Vintage also takes its place over to Miami. So you'll definitely get a lot of your Florida feel out there for running from the entire team that has brought this show over to you, from Christian Deploy, who's been working here tirelessly behind the scenes using Dougie Beard's cameras, from Craig King alongside me. My name is Jake Sperry. What a day of running we have seen, but it goes to show, even though we are trying to proclaim this as a new era, it is a name of old that is now putting himself into the wheelhouse and saying this is a 3-way championship, and please do not count me out. JDS, Jack David Spickett, Montreal may be his playground, but at the moment, with Spickett, with Valenteius, with Leon Hardy, unfortunately, you've all got to share the toys, and someone is going to have to take their turn when they head to the play park of Thruxton.
This is iRacing.